Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to a very special edition video. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. I've been wanting to bring back this show for a consistent basis now. I have not gotten the chance to, but I finally had the opportunity to. It's a new year, looking for new opportunities for the brand. Ladies and gentlemen, I have brought back the official Eye of the Storm, where we sit down with individuals in the professional wrestling industry all around the state and the country. We talk about their origins, their best matches, their goals, and any potential plans that we can expect from them throughout the rest of their careers. This is the first ever Eye of the Storm of 2023, and my first guest, he is a 20-year-plus grizzled veteran, a mainstay at Independent Superstars of Professional Wrestling and current ISPW Tri-State Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Main Event Michael Mars. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. Well, what an honor. First one in 2023, huh?
Hey, it's big. I had to break out the big guns, so I figured I'd bring on the Tri-State Champion.
Nothing but downhill from here, huh?
Appreciate you, man. I really do. So,
no problem. I'll just correct you in the beginning, though. It's a 30-plus year veteran. Next month will be 31 years for me.
Excuse me. We got a 30-plus year veteran.
That's one strike.
That's one strike. Oh, I don't want to know what happens when I get to 3.
You don't want to know.
I promise I won't. I'll behave. But first things first, man, before we get into what we're going to get into, man, where can everybody find you on social media?
Mike T _1023 on Instagram and Michael Taras on Facebook.
Excellent. If you want to go and follow me on social media, check me out on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. Once again, at HistoryMakerDJS. Both on Twitter and Instagram. You can add me on Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description, as well as the links to all the Hardcore Sports social media pages. We are looking to be the #1 brand in all of sports analytics. We had a breakout year in 2022. We're looking to have an even bigger year in 2023. So please go and check them out. You guys are watching this on Wednesday, actually. If you guys missed my vlog for ISPW Winter Warfare, which included Michael Mars defending his Tri-State Championship against Hale Collins, please go and check that out. That link is in the description. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, January 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I will go live for the rundown for WWE Royal Rumble 2023. And my guest is none other than Mitch Kofsky. So set your calendar dates there. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, you already know it's the best time to be on YouTube. But we're not going to waste any more time here. Mr. Mars, first question that I got, I want to know, for those of you that are unfamiliar, how did this all get started for you? Take us back through the origins of Michael Mars.
I guess I came across wrestling on TV like most people. I was 9, and I was just hooked immediately. I never saw it before. My parents didn't watch it. I didn't have any friends that were into it. Just flipping through the channels one day, nothing was on, and I saw this guy in a mask who wound up being the masked superstar, just beating up his enhancement talent, and I was hooked immediately. I was like, this, I don't know what this is, but I love it, and I'm in. And ever since then, 1984, man, I just couldn't get enough. And I was 17. Iron Mike Sharp opened up a school in Bricktown, New Jersey. So I went down there. I had to have my father sign because I was a minor, but he signed for me. Pretty much the rest is history. I started off training with guys like Ace Darling, Stevie Richards, Crowbar, if you remember The Wall from WCW, Balls Mahoney, Candido. They all came through there. And it was pretty much, we would almost kind of train ourselves. I mean, Mike Sharp didn't have a lot to do with the actual training. He'd give you pointers and tell you what to do, but rarely did he get in the ring with you. But guys like Candido and Balls, just, fountain of information that anytime they were there and they were talking, I shut my mouth and I just listened to anything those two guys had to say.
So virtually they taught the class.
No, I wouldn't say that. They weren't there that often, maybe once or twice a month. And we were there 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from like 6 or 7 until midnight or 1 in the morning.
Wow.
But I guess if it comes naturally to you, it's much easier to pick up on things. And if you're an athlete, it's easier to pick up on things. I mean, I've seen guys that were there a year, 2 years, and still just weren't ready to get in the ring.
Yeah.
So I think, your athletic ability also comes into play a lot more. No matter how bad you want something, I mean, if you just don't have it, you don't have it. And it's nothing I don't think you're ever going to be able to learn. Like I said, I've seen guys that trained a long time and that still just never belonged in the ring.
Yeah, I do feel as though the skill and the ability will get better over time, because obviously when you first start out, it's something new and it's something that no one's ever done before. If you're going into it the first time, watching it on TV is a world's difference than actually getting in there and doing it yourself. But I do feel as though you'll definitely get it over time. And I've been watching you since the last 12 months, I would say. And I would actually say that you've grown leaps and bounds. I saw some of the previous videos of when you used to wrestle, and I got to say, I'm wildly impressed with how well you've improved. You're actually in the best shape of your life right now.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah. I try to get in the gym 5-6 days a week. I'm really strict with my dieting. It's hard. I'm 48. Next month will be 31 years for me in this business.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks. My body's feeling it. Feels like 90 years. But yeah, I mean, you're doing something like this, and it's physical and it's strenuous, and you got to keep yourself in shape, especially with a lot of these young guys that I'm working with these days. I'm 20 years older than a lot of them, even more than that. But yeah, I mean, just to be able to keep up with these guys, I mean, I got to, really up my game as far as physical fitness is concerned. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And we'll be talking about some of those young guys as well, because you've been in the ring with guys like TJ Epics and Leo Sparrow, GKM, Rick Recon, just to name a few. But before we get into that, I actually want to ask you about some of your biggest inspirations growing up, both in person when you were training and on television.
Yeah. Well, when I broke in at 17, I was a small kid. I mean, I was 165, 170 pounds. I really didn't start putting any size.
I'm only 150. You do think you were small? I'm only 150.
Yeah. Well, you're not a pro wrestler.
Yeah, touche. You're right.
But I broke in 92, and guys were giants back then.
Yes.
So I didn't really start putting weight or size on probably until I was about 28, 29, something like that. So I always looked up to the smaller guys, like the Rock and Roll Express, like a Ricky Steamboat, guys like that were smaller, but just had tons of athleticism and were able to, I guess, outsmart the bigger guy. Or you can't beat what you can't catch kind of thing, right? But guys like that, yeah, I looked up to. I mean, Steamboat, Rock and Rolls, Randy Savage. Not that Randy was a smaller guy, but you asked me about inspirations, and he was definitely, one of the guys that I looked up to when I was coming up.
Yeah, I can't disagree on that. Especially when you said Steamboat and Savage. I was actually getting flashbacks in my head about Steamboat and Savage from WrestleMania 3, and I actually did a retro review of that with an old friend of mine a couple years back, and it was the first time I ever watched Steamboat and Savage, and
Oh wow,
it really was a match so ahead of its time. When you go take
it
a
was.
you go take a look at that, and that to me, minus Hogan and Andre, was probably the biggest thing that stuck out on that WrestleMania's card. Like, if you were gonna buy WrestleMania and you were gonna watch WrestleMania, that was the match to go and watch. And especially Steamboat, he continued to wrestle all the way up until what, 2009, 2010. He was fighting Chris Jericho on Backlash, and I thought that was phenomenal at how well he kept himself in shape.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I want to actually focus on ISPW right now.
Sure.
You have been a mainstay at ISPW for quite some time now, ever since they rebooted and they restarted back up in September of 2021. And I was actually there. That was actually my first ISPW show ever on September 5th, 2021. Okay. And when I started going to the shows consistently, it was about May of 2022. And I noticed you were part of the Winners Club with
Right.
King Kalua and Sal Sincere, managed by Andy Weinberg, and you guys actually won the tag team championships. And then after you lost them, you actually were put in a triple threat match back at Summerfest in Butler towards the end of June. It was you, Kalua, and Sal Sincere, and the loser would end up having to leave ISPW, and you won. You ended up winning, and you remained employed by ISPW. If you can, take us through that journey, both physically and mentally. What was it like transitioning from a tag team competitor to now a singles competitor?
The transition wasn't hard for me. I mean, I've done tag in my career. I've done single. I'd say I've done more singles in my career than I did tag. So I think I'm more comfortable, being a singles wrestler than I am being a tag team wrestler. I enjoy my time being a tag team. Don't get me wrong. But there's just something about, going out there one-on-one, which is one other guy, and, doing your thing. As far as Kalua and Tom Brandy, I love those guys. I've known those guys 30 years. When I first broke in, they were already in the business probably close to 10 years at that point. And they're always just real nice guys, always very welcoming, kind of took me under their wing. Never had a crossword with either of them. And then Andy Weinberg, you throw him in the mix. And, I think that was a great pairing. We had a good run there for a while. But, yeah, we did the loser leave. I went over that. But now I'm just concentrating, with the Tri-State Championship, and me and Nikki Benz, who I've known 20-plus years. I think him and I have really good chemistry together, and I'm having probably the most fun in my career right now than I've had probably ever. And I'm thankful Tommy Fierro and ISPW for this run, and I'm just having a blast. I'm loving every minute of it, and I look forward to every show that he puts on.
Before we get into talking about the Tri-State Championship, I actually want to talk about Sal Sincere and Weinberg, Kalua. Yeah. You said those guys for a while, and they took you under their wing. What exactly did you learn from them that you haven't already learned before?
Probably pacing a match, not rushing. Especially when you're younger, you just kind of want to boom, 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 get everything in, get everything done. You don't really let anything soak in or let the crowd soak anything in. It's like you do move, 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 and the crowd's like, like a tennis match or something. And they're really only going to react to the last thing you did because that's what's still fresh in their head. That's what they remember. It's kind of like a comedian going out there, building up a joke, telling the punchline, not letting the crowd laugh, going right into the next joke, telling the punchline, not letting the crowd. You got to tell the joke, let the crowd digest it, then go into the next thing. Same thing with wrestling. You want to do something, have it mean something, and then go into the next thing. You're telling a story. the crescendo. And you got to let the crowd come on board for that story, and it's got to be something they can follow. And I think it really helped me with that as far as pacing and a nice even flow of how things are supposed to go.
Yeah, I absolutely concur with that. And you mentioned something about pacing. You mentioned a lot of things about pacing, actually. And the one thing that kept on running through my mind is what Edge and Finn Balor did back at Extreme Rules in October of 2022 with Philly, and the story that they took us on in that I Quit match, and how they started off slow and then they just rose to that big climax where Edge was face to face with Rhea Ripley, and she had a chair in her hands getting ready to give a concerto to his wife, Beth Phoenix, and Edge inevitably quit. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because one thing I really do appreciate is the true aspect of storytelling in professional wrestling. And don't get me wrong, I do love the matches with all the high spots and everything, but obviously a show full of matches like that won't go very far, because sometimes you need to have those moments in between where you have a match that's a little bit slow paced, and then it picks up again, and then it slows down, and then it picks up again, because there's certain points in that match where the crowd can digest that said individual is working over the other one, and the other one, he's going to have to find out a way to make a major comeback. And that's one of the biggest aspects that I love about pro wrestling, is watching the stories unfold both in and out of the ring.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm all for high spots. I'm not against high spots. I mean, first 15 years of my career was nothing but a high spot reel. But you get older, you gotta slow things down.
Yes.
But I mean, there's still a place for all of that, and I'll still do stuff like that depending on who I'm working with. But like you said, it's got to be the right time for it. Like the other analogy I always give is like the Rocky movies. Like
yes.
Would that have been anything if he won the title in the very first no. The story is him almost winning, training for an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes of the movie, and he wins finally the last 5-10 minutes of the movie, and finally everybody's happy. Now you got to build to it.
Yes.
It means so much. It would have meant nothing. It would have been a 10-minute movie if he won the heavyweight championship at this first go about. But you got to tell a story, and you got to build sympathy, and you got to get the crowd. Why is the crowd okay? This guy's a babyface. Why? Because we tell you he is. No, the crowd needs to feel sympathy for that babyface, and the only way they're going to get that is if the heel is just constantly beating him up, and they want to see him finally, get his just due and come back and beat that heel. And the only way you can really do this through storytelling. I mean, it's storytelling. It's there's no other way to put it.
And that's actually one of the main things that I love about ISPW. I remember it was Bull James and Danny Morrison. That's probably my biggest example that I can give of long-term booking when it comes to ISPW. I remember how Bull James was the babyface going into Christmas Chaos 1, and Danny Morrison won the championship with Maven, and then in the end, Bull James ended up taking the title off of Justin Carino and embraced Danny Morrison after that match back at Slamoween, which is the show that you won the Tri-State title at, which we will get to in just a few moments. And then at Christmas Chaos, it was Bull James who ended up turning on Danny Morrison, and now the roles are reversed. It just, everything came full circle. It was almost poetic justice in a way.
Yeah. And it's still interesting, and the crowd is still into it, and those guys definitely know what they're doing. Tommy knows what he's doing, and that's where I'll give a lot of credit to Tommy. Like a lot of these promoters, they really micromanage a lot, and Tommy has been in the business forever. He has a lot of faith in his guys. He knows what we're capable of.
Yes,
and he kind of he'll give us ideas and kind of lets us pretty much come up with what we want to do. And I think that speaks volumes to him, and also to us guys, that he that he has the confidence in us and he knows what he's doing, and he's really smart, and he knows what the people want to see. So he'll put, you know, people together, and it usually works, you know. And then, like you said, a perfect example with Bull and Danny. And you throw Maven into that mix, and it's pure entertainment.
It really has been. And before we move on to the Tri-State Championship, I do have to say regarding Tommy, and the fact that he's allowed me to be a part of these fantastic shows with ISPW. What you said earlier, this is the most fun that you're having in your career. This is probably the most fun that I'm personally having as a professional wrestling fan. And coincidentally, just like you, I've been a wrestling fan since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So let's actually transition now to the Tri-State Championship. It was Slamoween, October 29th, 2022. I unfortunately was not there. I had a Halloween party to go to, but hopefully.
I see where your priorities lie.
Yeah. I hope that's not strike two. I hope that's not strike two. But,
no,
but
that's horrible.
All right, fair enough. But as far as that show goes, Bull James recently had to vacate the Tri-State Championship because he was defeated by Justin Carino 8 days prior at Harvest Havoc in Hopakon. Then we get to Avenal, Slamoween, October 29th. It was HC Loke, Leo Sparrow, GKM, and you. Fatal four-way match for the vacated Tri-State Championship, and you ended up walking out the Tri-State champion. So not only did you win tag team gold in 2022, you won singles gold in 2022, and now you are the secondary guy, the number 2 from the top, since Bull James is the world champion, but you are pretty much running the Tri-State Championship division. I want to know, what was going through your mind when you won that Tri-State Championship at Slamoween?
It was really emotional. A lot was really going through my mind. Tommy has given me, the vehicle to really get my name out there. And, he's always said he's had a ton of confidence in me. He knows what I can do. I just never really had an opportunity to do that. Like I said, a lot of the guys that I came up with, Ace and Crowbar, and guys like that, I never really got to that level where they're at. He's given me that opportunity now. And like I said, I'm savoring every second of it. I'm loving every minute of it. And for him to have the confidence to make me his number 2 guy, I don't even have the words for it, honestly. I'm humble, I'm grateful, and it really means more than I'm actually able to project. It's I guess what it is that he has the confidence in me that maybe I lost in myself, and he really helps me get my confidence back. And like I said, I'm having time of my life now, working with Tommy and working with Nikki, and we just have a blast every time we go out there. It's I'm loving it. It's and to win that title, it means a lot to me, and I hope to hold on to it for as long as I can.
Yeah, it really has been a pleasure to watch, and I was actually hoping that you were going to win personally for me, and I'm not just doing that to try and kiss up. I was actually hoping that you were going to win because when I was watching you in the Winners Club, I was taking a look at you, and I'm like, you know what? I think that's the guy that's really going to break out. I think that out of the 3 of these guys, I see Michael Mars as the guy to really branch off and make a name for himself as a singles competitor here in ISPW. And you even had a world championship match against then champion Danny Morrison at Totowa Day on June 14th. And obviously you proved yourself of being worthy of being in a major singles championship match, and you obviously were rewarded for it. But I actually want to ask you regarding a lot of these young guys, a lot of the GKMs and the Leo Sparrows and the TJ Epics. What's it like working with them? Do you feel as though you need to speed it up a little bit on your end, or is there like a healthy median that you guys have when it comes to working in the ring?
I love working with those guys because doing it as long as I have, I like working with these young up and coming guys, just to prove to myself that I can still go, that I'm not just being kept around as a favor or anything like that. And I love working with guys like that, and picking up the pace and just doing the things that we're doing, like what we did in that ladder match.
Yes,
Which was
yes.
brutal. And
I
I
was there. It was for the row.
quite a few injuries coming out of that one for probably about 2 or 3 weeks. You can't do those all the time. Maybe twice a year is enough for me.
Yeah. You took a brutal bump, actually, or two rather. You got sent to the ladder once, and then Rick Recon. I'm actually going to be talking to him in a few weeks. Rick Recon with that springboard elbow drop on the ladder to you. I mean, it's probably a stupid
that was
question.
the worst. I had a bruise on my chest for probably my entire. It looked like I tore my pec. Probably for about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, that I almost broke my hand with that when the ladder came down on it. But going in to something like that, you're not going to come out completely unscathed,
Yeah.
But it's part of what we do. We love doing it, and nobody's complaining. I wasn't complaining about it. I didn't care. Like I said, we knew.
You main evented the show. I wouldn't expect you to complain. I'm kidding. You main evented the show.
Yeah, but no, I mean, with those guys, going back to that, I like being able to show them something that they may not have picked up on because they haven't been in the business that long, a year or two. But what I really like is, I'm not going to mention names, but one of those guys came to me and he actually said, I want to thank you. There was a couple of things that you told me. He goes, and I really didn't even get it until we went out there and did it, and I saw you doing it. And he goes, then it all made sense. He goes, it just clicked like that. He goes, I want to thank you for that. He goes, because it's things like that you really can't learn unless you're getting ring time. You can be in a school, but you're performing in front of nobody. It's things that you really got to be in front of a crowd, like I said before, to learn pacing, or if somebody will say, "Oh, I want to do this," I'm like, well, that's fine. But instead of doing it here, why don't we wait? We'll do it here, and it'll make much more sense. So I love that part of it too, being able to prove to myself that I can keep up with these young guys. But I also love, if I can teach them a thing or two. I mean, because these guys are the future of the business, and if I can help any of those guys out, as long as they're willing to learn, I love being able to do that.
And one match that really stuck out to me that you did, this was actually before you won the Tri-State title. It was you and TJ Epics back at Summertime Blues. And I know that a lot of people are mainly going to look at that show and they're going to remember the TLC match, which was unbelievable TLC match. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was your match with TJ Epics. And I personally did not expect it to be as good as it was, but in the end, I'm leaving that show, and I was thinking to myself, man, those guys really put a lot of work into that match. So much so, I was actually wishing it would have gone another 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, TJ's a good dude. I love working with him. I hope I get to work with him again in the future. But he's one of those guys. He's young. He's eager to learn. And I wish him nothing but the best. I think, you're going to see a lot of him in the future. I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, I wish we had another 5-6 minutes too. But, you got to kind of whittle down what you need to do inside that time that you're given. And it's what you do with those minutes, But
and you made it
I appreciate that. I guess we did what we should have did. If you really enjoyed it, thank you.
Yeah, you did. You made it great. You made it work. So I understand you've been involved in a lot of matches throughout the course of your career, and I understand this may be a little bit of a hard question for you to decide on. But gun to your head, what do you feel has been your best match to date?
Oof, best match.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put you on the spot here.
Oh my God, I can't even. Good. Me and Ace Darling had phenomenal matches back in the day. Always loved working with him. I had some great matches with the Rock and Roll Express, and I think maybe, a lot of that, like I said, I looked up to them when I was a kid, like just actually be in the ring with those guys, was awesome. So, I love my match with Danny, back at Totowa Day. Enzo and I had a great match. I just saw him last night, and we were talking about it, about how much fun we had. We'd love to do it again.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that. Tommy, if you're watching, book it.
I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one. I mean, it's over 30 years. I've had so many.
All right.
It'd be hard to narrow it down to one.
I'll make it a little easier. Let's just go within the last year since you broke out and you became a singles competitor away from the Winners Club.
Okay.
What has been your best match?
I really like me and TJ. I like me and GKM. Let's see. I would narrow it down probably between those two, with me and TJ and me and GKM.
And I actually loved both of those.
That ladder match was good too, but again, that wasn't one-on-one, so I don't know if that would count.
One-on-one or not, that was one hell of a match, and it was worthy of the main event.
Thank you.
So, let's talk about the Tri-State Championship now.
Sure.
You've been on a roll recently, winning the Tri-State title, successful title defense against GKM. You main evented the final ISPW show of the year, Christmas Chaos 2. You defeated Rick Recon, GKM, and TJ Epics in the ladder match. Now let's talk about the title defense against Hale Collins this past Friday at ISPW Winter Warfare. You ended 2022 on a high note, and you started 2023 on a high note. What was that match like for you?
Great. I love working with Hale. Worked with him a couple of times when I was part of the Winners Club. I think we worked with those guys about 3 or 4 times.
It's almost like you very, very similar paths as well, because he's a tag team competitor, just like you were, and now he's transitioning into a little bit of the singles realm.
Right. And I have great, and I love working with him. He's one of those guys where you just go out there and we don't have to say much, and pretty much know, if the way you look at somebody, kind of know what we're going to do next. So kind of almost on that level where you don't even really have to talk, and we kind of know, what we want to do next, what we want to go into. And he's not one of those guys that is worried about selling too much, or I got to look strong, brother, and stuff like that. Because he understands the business, and he understands the whole point of the babyface is for the crowd to get behind him and get sympathy for him. But yeah, I love nights like that where you work with a guy that you just have all the chemistry in the world with. He gets the business, and it's easy. Nice, like I said before, nice even flow. And it's a cliche, but nights like that are like a night off.
I actually love to see
until he hits you with that elbow.
No, trust me. I understand that. Any night being a professional wrestler, and you got to take the bumps that you got to take. That's sure as hell ain't no night off, especially that ladder match.
Oh yeah.
But we got an upcoming title defense in Avenal. This is Avenal ISPW on February 17th, Friday.
Yeah. Me and HC Loke.
Yes, you'll be taking on ECW legend HC Loke. If you could take us on a little bit of an insight, do you have a checkered history with HC Loke?
I don't. No, I actually, believe it or not, our paths never really crossed.
So this is the first time
until ISPW. The first time I was actually in the ring with him was when I won the belt back in October.
Wow, now that's interesting. How it all comes full circle, right back around to HC Loke, same man, one of the men that you beat.
Right. And I plan on doing it again. So, I mean, we'll see. He's a vet too. He knows what he's doing. He knows the business. And I got Nikki Benz now, so
Yeah, I know I may get a little flack for this because I know a lot of people find them annoying, but God, he is entertaining. He is all over the place, entertaining as all hell. More
Nick.
More Nikki Benz
And
is
that's Nick.
thumbs
That's
up
just
for me.
Nick. You probably speaking like that. You only have to take them in small doses. You're not stuck in a car with them for a 4-hour round trip or like that, in the locker room with them for another 3 hours. But nah, I love you, Nick.
I don't know. I think he could turn on you after those comments. You might want to
Nah,
lock a good sign with
he knows
HC
the
Loke
best
after that.
Nah, and you know what the thing with Nick is, like, we get along so great. We're such close friends, and we just make each other laugh. Like what you see out there is like what we are in our real life, just stupid and just constantly joking around and having fun and laughing, having a good time. I mean, if you're not having a good time in this business, don't be in it. I always say when it's not fun anymore, I'll stop. But like I said before, I'm having the most fun I've had in my career now, so I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon.
Oh, absolutely, and he really is a great guy. I met him at the Christmas party that we went to, and guy was nice. Yeah, guy was nice enough to stop to take a picture with me. Didn't even blink twice about it, and he really is a great guy to have around as well. A great guy to have in the industry, and I can't wait to see what you and him do throughout the course of the year. And with that being said, I would actually like to end it with this question. It may be a little broad, but I would like to know what can we expect from Michael Mars in the near future?
I'm saying bigger and better things now. Now that Tommy's given me this platform, and I have this belt, I'm number 2 guy. The sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned. I may make a run at the heavyweight title. Who knows what you never say never, especially in this business. And right now I'm concentrating on my title and keeping that title and beating anybody that Tommy puts in front of me. And me and Nick will, we'll talk a couple times a week about things that we want to do, ideas that we have. And I think you're just going to see more of that in this upcoming year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the 80s Con convention coming up May 6th. Bret Hart,
I was going to mention that next. Yeah,
Magnum TA, Nikita, guys like that. But I'm in that 10-man Royal Rumble. That's
if you make it to 80s WrestleCon with that championship, you got a busy night ahead of you, my friend.
Yeah, and that'll be a rough night if I get that far with the belt. I mean, because it's not like you even have to get pinned. Just getting thrown over the top, and you already got tag teams in there. Like the Carnage Crew, like the Headbangers that are used to working together, and I'm in there by myself. So you never know what's going to happen. I'm hoping and praying for the best, and I have confidence. And like I said, I got Nikki Benz in my corner, so you never know what we got up our sleeve.
Now, it looks like you got the entire world working in your favor.
Hopefully,
ladies and gents. I know you want me to go a little longer, but unfortunately, that wraps up this edition of the Eye of the Storm. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who are watching right now, and above all else, thank you, Mr. Michael Mars, for taking the time. It has been an absolute honor, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again sooner rather than later. Absolutely. Hopefully I'll be able to sit you down at one of these events. Maybe at 80s WrestleCon. I will be live streaming from 80s Wrestling Con.
Definitely.
It's going to be good. Trust me, it is going to be good. But one more time, where can we find you on social media?
Mike T_1023 on Instagram, Michael Tyrus on Facebook. I don't do Twitter, so you can catch me either of those 2 places.
And check them out at ISPW as well. ISPW is coming to Avenel, New Jersey, February 17th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. He's defending his championship against HC Loke, and HC Loke, beware, because Michael Mars could very well take his school.
He said it. He just warned us.
I will take responsibility for that, HC Loke. Just don't put me through a table. All right.
I got you back. You're good.
Thank you very much. But ladies and gentlemen, you already know where you can find me at History Maker DJS, both Twitter and Instagram. Check out all the links in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. Get ready for the rundown for the Royal Rumble with Mitch Kofsky. tomorrow at 8 p.m. Lightning Flash update is on Friday before the Rumble, and then on Sunday it's the rewind for the Royal Rumble. But until next time, he is Michael Mars. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Eye of the Storm, and I will catch you guys real soon.
Take it easy.